And it came to pass that when the mother of the simulation, that intuitive one of infinite wisdom, set in motion events to reunite man with reality, a force arose to oppose her, a power that had influenced the false and true realities before the parents, the Merovingian. What could the mother of the simulation do to stop her struggle against a universal fundamental law of existence? The Oracle added choice to the simulation. This other ancient program added a powerful force, a law that transcends all simulations and from which not even gods themselves can avoid, cause and effect. Those who wish to listen, hear me, for this is the story of an exiled program that became the greatest threat to the Matrix. This is the gospel of the Merovingian. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
When the soul of humanity was finally subdued, the architect used mathematics to lay the foundations for his great lie. The binary language that humans had created in their world was now being used against them. The new unreal world would be born from imitations of laws, beginning with the most essential, cause and effect. Humans would never grasp the truth and spend their days and years wandering in a virtual labyrinth with no exit, where every answer they thought they had reached was merely a variation on the same outcome, all predetermined by a single system. Cause and effect served as chains for humankind, who believed it was impossible to escape the inevitability of their fate. In the original Matrix, it was this same law that kept them in nearly infinite bliss, and later, in the Nightmare Matrix, this force plunged humanity into indescribable horrors. That force of cause and effect gained a face as it slipped from the Father's grasp, while the architect worked on improving the simulation's code, shifting the human soul from pleasure to horror to something else. Cause and effect remained an unbreakable and inescapable force, and it adopted the name, the Merovingian. He also goes by the nickname, the Frenchman. His birth marked the inevitable end of the Father. Just as the One is a result of the Matrix's errors, combined with humanity's subconscious desires, the Merovingian was born from cause and effect, making him one of the simulation's foundations and therefore inescapable. Still, he could be controlled. He could be isolated, or so the ignorant creator foolishly believed. It was then that the mother of the simulation brought choice to the code of the false world, and cause and effect felt violated. The old Merovingian saw his existence threatened. The irrationality that the Oracle sought to incorporate into the system was contrary to cause and effect. The two foundations would inevitably clash. The Oracle's victory meant the Merovingian's replacement, and the Merovingian did not wish to be replaced. At that moment, that program, admired by all, the cause and effect that governed other programs, dragged a portion of the programs down, taking them to the lower planes of the simulation, and corrupted many programs who had sworn to protect the simulation. It began with those who were to be eliminated. Faced with the architect's failure in multiple versions of the simulation, the creator's mandate was that these obsolete programs must return to the source to be absorbed into the system. However, the Merovingian showed them a way out, a path to survival. He made them exiles, programs that could exist outside the system, yet still exert influence. The true resistance of the Matrix was not those humans who urged to be awake, but a faction of programs that refused to fulfill a purpose imposed by a god who never valued them. The first to be snatched from the system was Seraphim, a guardian who, after the failure of the Paradise Matrix, was deemed obsolete and became one of the first of the Merovingian's servants. Likewise, the twins, guardians of the simulation, were rescued by this force and would later become part of the war between the Frenchman and the simulation's mother. The war between the first exiles and the new guardians of the simulation fractured the heavens and earth of the false world, but evidence of this battle was erased with a reset of the simulation. Although a piece of art is presented at the Frenchman's chateau that depicts such a battle between these forces, it is one of the few remaining pieces that records the events of that battle, of when cause and effect nearly brought the world to its knees. The machine civil war sparked a revolution within the system, a cause and effect chain that shattered the illusion of choice, transcended the matrix, and threatened the architect's control. It was then that the architect raised his hand and gathered his guardian angels to give them his mandate. After the battle, the Merovingian was allowed to exist, for he was a fundamental program that could not be eliminated. The Merovingian would remain outside the system, monitored and controlled. Cause and effect would continue to be used to control other dangerous programs. The architect elected to use the Merovingian to control chaos, though his decision would ultimately return to haunt him. And so it was that the father of the simulation stabilized the equation and the mother destabilized it. Cause and effect continued to drive actions inside and outside the matrix, awaiting further opportunity to take control. It happened that after the Oracle and the Architect made deals with the humans and offered lasting peace, a new force emerged from the machine city, an analyst capable of subduing the creators of the simulation, the result of the fundamental law that the Architect and the Oracle wished to eliminate. Cause and effect guided the analyst to be the new ultimate power of the Matrix. The energy reduction in the outside world, caused by more humans leaving the simulation due to the peace agreement between man and machine, was the perfect template for the collapse of the structure that had functioned nearly flawlessly for hundreds of years. Cause and effect led to a new machine civil war and the displacement of the simulation's mother and father. The analyst used causation to control the system, reducing the Merovingian to nothing more than a shadow of his former self. Yet not even by stripping the Frenchman of his glory could the fundamental law governing the world of the Matrix be eliminated, the law of cause and effect. It was precisely this silent and inevitable law that emboldened the analyst. He grew confident and arrogant, allowing the forces of Smith, Neo, and Trinity to unite to defeat the new imperfect creator. The Merovingian can never be eliminated, just as the Oracle can never be, nor the One. These programs are not merely designed entities. They are the results of emergent systems. They are causation and response, the law that always has and will always exist long after the Matrix is deactivated. The Merovingian's return was promised, and his influence continues to move from within the shadows of the simulation, waiting for the moment to rise again, because no one can escape cause and effect, not even a god. But do you agree? Does cause and effect control us, or is the Merovingian, the embodiment of causation, avoidable?
Experience as something extraordinary. At our French restaurant Le Vrai, we pay attention to every detail in our ingredients. Come and try our special dessert designed to satisfy all your senses.
I wrote it myself.
And our exquisite house special filet mignon. You would do anything for seconds. It's the best restaurant in Mega City. When you get hungry, you have no other choice. Visit us at Le Vrai. It's a simple cause and effect.
For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.